Hello, everyone, and welcome to High Holiday Happenings, Part 5. Today, we are going to just focus briefly on one of the central themes in the Rosh Hashanah liturgy, focused on the word HaMelech, a word for sovereign. The Rosh Hashanah liturgy is kind of like a puzzle. A puzzle, we know, often has a specific theme. It's well planned out with pieces fitting together. I would also make a comment about an architect or a designer when it comes to designing a building or a specific room in a building. They are concerned with color, with style. Everything blends together in a coherent fashion. And I would suggest that our liturgy works the same way. The liturgy on Rosh Hashanah embraces specific themes which mesh together. One of these themes is the theme of God as sovereign, often referred to by the Hebrew term HaMelech. Now I know Melech traditionally means king, but I prefer a more egalitarian language of sovereign, since prayer is not exclusively in the domain of men. Aside from that fact, we know that many queens have ruled throughout history, and therefore the term HaMelech needs to be expanded not only in reference to a king, but in reference to a sovereign. And as you will see, the theme is effective and potent regardless of the terminology. The idea of God as sovereign is central to Rosh Hashanah. We know that rulers are often dispassionate in governing people. They serve as authority figures. Using a modern example, Governor Cuomo, though not a king, took charge during the pandemic, and he made difficult decisions based on the need to govern. He was quite dispassionate, and he demonstrated strength when it was necessary in order to keep people in line for the greater good. But a ruler should also demonstrate rahmanis, compassion. I recently heard a lecture or a discussion given by the great historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, and she spoke about one of the presidents who was the subject of her writings, Theodore Roosevelt. And she mentioned how Roosevelt, over the course of time, evolved as a person and as a leader. He recognized the need to rule and to make difficult decisions, but at the same time, he learned about the people and their needs, and he made decisions based on their specific needs. Any leader needs to have an understanding of the people and address their concerns. And this metaphor, referring to God as king or as sovereign, understands that we refer to God as one who will judge us, at the same time show mercy. The idea of God as sovereign is a recurring Rosh Hashanah theme. We hope that God will judge us fairly and honestly, but again, with a sense of compassion. Now, whether or not we believe in God, the idea expressed here is that we will live and be judged for good, that we will live and act in a manner which will enable us to be judged for good, whether that goodness emanates from God or simply from within ourselves. We want to live and act in a way which will enable us to really fit in beautifully with the world and enable us to make our contributions, but to do so with kindness and with compassion and being just in all that we do. So central is the theme of God as sovereign that the official Rosh Hashanah morning service actually begins a few words earlier than it officially begins on Shabbat. On Shabbat, we begin the morning service with the prayer Shochen Ad. But on Rosh Hashanah, we begin a few words earlier with the word HaMelech. We start by recognizing God as the ruler who will judge us, but also show us love. And that is why on Rosh Hashanah, we officially begin the morning service with this theme of HaMelech, God as sovereign. In the Amidah prayer, there are several references to God as sovereign, including the prayer Avinu Malkeinu. We recognize God as a parent and as a sovereign. There, the idea of Melech, of sovereign, is just the God who dispenses justice. In the Musaf, the additional service on Rosh Hashanah, we even have a special section known as Malchuyot, biblical verses referring to God as sovereign. Each part of the service refers to this central theme. So again, when we buy a house, we want to know that the structure is sound and that everything fits. When we do a puzzle, we want to be sure that all of the pieces are correct. The same idea applies to liturgy. Themes like HaMelech, recognizing God as sovereign, call attention to the fact that we recognize God as sovereign being a major theme of the day, and in all that we do, in what we say, and how we live our lives, we do so in a way which ensures that we will be judged for goodness, and that we will be mindful of the fact that we are judged. No matter who judges us, we be mindful of being judged, and therefore we will live our lives accordingly. And Shana Tova, have a good and meaningful year.